the intelligence community obviously is very powerful. As a matter of fact, I would argue the most powerful organizations we have, because you can't do military anything without proper, well-vetted intelligence. And this is kind of where my concern lies. And I want to pose this to you. President Trump mentioned that, hey, no one mentioned this, that, and the other. Even though I worked at Missile Defense Agency as a war games planner, I was like, you can't be serious.
Right.
Is the inner circle, because it's not just Trump. You mentioned Hegseth, this guy, that's a whole nother subject. Do they respect intelligence coming from our own community? We watched Trump pick Putin's intel guys in what, 17, 18 over us. Do we even know that the White House is listening to what?
I don't think they are. I think that's a very practical reason why he doesn't care about putting incompetent people in. The president and the people around him do not care about what they're getting from the intelligence community, except maybe on a very tactical level. I'm sure they're happy to get the latitude, longitude of where to drop a bomb. But in terms of saying this country is thinking this, or this leader is thinking that, or we project the following, or we think that you will not be able to destroy with air power Iran's capability to do X or Y, they don't care. They're not interested in it. Now, we have seen that in autocracies. It's a weak spot, by the way, of autocracies, but not from our perspective, a really bad weak spot. Autocracies and dictators often find themselves in deep trouble because they're smarter than everyone else, and they've personalized their rule, so they don't need to listen to everyone else. That's why Stalin refused to listen to his intelligence officers that the Germans were going to break the pact and attack them.
Right.
And, that's a dramatic example of this, but we see it over and over again with a personalized autocracy where they are the smartest person in the world. It's all about who is paying tribute to me and who is being nice to me and who respects me, rather than what's actually happening on the ground, like who is doing what and what is being observed. And we see that, by the way, across the Trump administration, the exact same pattern in the sciences, in education, in environment. We don't need to listen to doctors. We don't need to listen to climatologists. We don't need to listen to oceanography experts and the vast amount of intellectual firepower that the U.S. government has acquired over many of these years, which is augmented by the smarts of Americans, our academic institutions, our researchers, our political scientists, and frankly, the media. People like you talking on podcasts don't need to listen to it. Don't need to. I don't even need to listen to the questions. And we saw that with the interview of President Trump just the other day. Evidence is not needed. That's his answer to the evidence question. I'm sure you've seen that exchange. The idea that you do not need evidence. Well, when you are the king, you don't really need evidence. It all comes from in your head. It's no different in the intel world. The evidence, it's not the word that intelligence officers would use, but the intelligence that gets to the president is the evidence that the president should be using to make decisions. He doesn't have to accept all of it, by the way.
That brings up a very good question when we talk about how people look in and view the intelligence community. With all the changes and things like that, number one, do we consider what's going on in Iran an intelligence failure? I've seen people on social media throw that around. Me personally, I don't think that's because if the information is presented and they choose not to listen to it,
you know, not an intelligence failure.
Right, exactly. So my question though is, with all of these changes, how close could it be? How close are we to something like that happening? A bona fide intelligence failure. I mean, we went to Venezuela. We've done all these things. We've started all these conflicts, since Trump came back in office. And he, until Iran, thought everything was going hunky-dory. My concern is when you have that person at the top at DNI, they have the ultimate say in what the president gets, correct? So how close can we be? Are we close to having a system that does not give the president what he needs before it even gets to his desk?
Well, I think we are, but I don't think it's because of a sort of decision to keep him blinded. I think
Okay.
that is going to happen. One, we are firing the people with the knowledge. We don't
Yes.
have the people. Now, you and I just joked about everybody understands the Straits of Hormuz. But if we dove a little deeper, like there are not a lot of people who really understand the Iranian nuke program.
Right.
There are not a lot of people who could give you the wiring diagram of the IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, down to like the third guy down and who his brother-in-law is. There are a few of them, but they're starting to go. They're being chased out. They're opting to be retired. We just said we're going to fire all these people. So there's not even going to be intelligence written for that. And we are telling people, do not put your head on the chopping block by creating intelligence. When I say creating intelligence, there's a process. We collect it, the spies collect it, and then we put it together in an analytic product, which goes to the president. But if the president is saying, get rid of the people who told me that, Russia's bad, who's going to, if there's anybody left, who's going to write that stuff? And we are killing our relationships with other intelligence services. And that's a major aspect.
I really wanted to touch on that. I literally wrote that down. You mentioned, you mentioned Operation Barbarossa and Stalin not knowing, hey, it's not happening. Everybody was yelling at him, dude, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. A lot of that intel came from other sources outside of the Soviet Union. Like, hey, we're seeing this, et cetera, et cetera. What is our relationship now with allied intelligence services? Because Trump has gone out of his way to blast nations, but at the operational level of intelligence, what is our reputation like, and can that come back to harm us?
I do not have access at the operational level anymore, but I'll make a prediction. I will make a prediction at the operational level. To the extent people are still there with the relationships that have been built over years, my guess is everybody's working really hard to keep things going. It's a little bit like the two families fight, but the kids get along kind of thing. They're professionals. Our partners overseas are professionals. Our people are professionals. But the point is that those professionals on the other side, they can't trust us going up the ladder all the way to the president. For one, he's making it pretty difficult for them to invest time and risk and effort when he is basically saying, you're terrible and you're horrible and we're not going to support you in an alliance anymore. An alliance, which, by the way, has kept us safe since the end of the Second World War in the face of a Cold War that sputtered for 75, 85 years. Now, I'm not saying the Cold War was a wonderful time. We had plenty of conflicts, but we didn't have World War III. And that's a lot because of NATO. And the Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, SEATO, a similar organization, also does that. Our response to 9/11 was NATO invoked the article that says common defense. And they sent soldiers who died in Afghanistan alongside of our soldiers and alongside of our sailors. That has been denied by the president. It's been denied by our Secretary of Defense, who accused them of cowardice. So you can imagine it's a much more difficult relationship. And then you add to it the idea that it's not clear that we're keeping the secrets anymore. It's not clear what we're telling the Russians. So the currency of intelligence is the secrets.